This module is going to be all about identifying your ideal client because knowing who your ideal client is going to be the absolute foundation of your business. It is essential to have this element defined before you even try to go and make any sales on your social media. But before we even dive into that, we need to talk about the importance of finding your niche first. And that's because when you have no one specific in mind that you want to work with, or no specific problem in mind that you solve, you have no clear direction or foundation for your audience to really fall back on because you're hiding your voice and you're people pleasing out of fear. And when you speak to everyone, you really end up speaking to no one because you are so focused on appealing to the majority over the ones that matter, which is your audience, your people, right? So you end up having draining sales calls with people who just don't understand the value of your offer because it's not specifically tailored to them or their needs, right? And then you end up just feeling really burnt out from working with any client that will hire you instead of working with dream clients that are the sole reason for why you even do what you do and why you started this business. So, what happens when you do actually niche down? When you do find your niche? When you're able to tailor your content to that one specific audience, aka your ideal client, your offer is able to speak directly to them and they know that your help is exactly what they need. And you're finally supporting your clients that genuinely value you and honor your boundaries. And that's why it's so important for you to discover your niche before really diving in and building out your business. However, I don't know about you, but I personally never resonated with the traditional way of defining my ideal client. Let me know if you did. We do, however, need ideal client avatars so that we do have a crystal clear image about the clients that we are trying to bring into our space, but not so much in the she's a redhead, watches Stranger Things, and loves coffee just as much as I do kind of a way, right? You want to speak more directly to your ideal client's personality, her deepest desires, what she craves most in life and business. And I'm just using her for this example. What kind of transformation are they craving? Are they wanting to live a completely different lifestyle that allows them more time and freedom within their life? Are they craving more financial stability to no longer live paycheck to paycheck? Are they wanting to be able to travel more and see the world? The type of client who is the exact reason why you do this life changing work. This is the one where if they message you right now, you would be jumping up out of your seat and dancing from pure joy because you are so excited to work with them and you can't believe they just inquired about your services. So let's just go ahead and break this down into three parts. Who are they is going to be the first part. And this is going to be your average, creating the false persona for them as if they were a real person out there living life. Give them an age, name, location, occupation, if they have any kids, what their family life is like, hobbies, interests, personality, all this kind of stuff. You're going to kind of scratch the surface on who they are as a person. Like this would be their social media profile presence. And number two would be what are their biggest struggles? So this is where you're going to start digging a little bit deeper into who your ideal client is. Look at what are some gaps in their business that you could help fill. Are there any consistent issues that you are seeing your ideal client face? Are there any consistent questions that you're seeing coming up either in the DMs that people are asking you, in your comments from your content, or even just from fellow creators that are in a similar niche as you? Are they having their ideal clients ask them about a specific topic? Look at stuff like that. Those are going to be kind of consistent issues that you can be looking at. And then number three is how you are able to help. And this is going to be more so your services and your offers. How are your offers going to help them? And what kind of offers are you going to have? Is it going to be more done for you services? Would you like to get more into coaching and mentoring? Are you more someone who likes working behind the scenes and creating content or downloadables or email marketing and copywriting? What is the ROI, the return on investment they are going to be getting from working with you? This is the transformation that you are going to be providing to your ideal clients. Think of the value that you are bringing. And then what is unique about you? What do you have? What do you do that sets your offer apart from everybody else? Because we already know that you are a unique ass, one of a kind person. So What do you do in your business? What kind of processes do you have that are differing from everybody else within your industry? Why should they invest in you? Why should they choose your offer or service over anybody else in the industry? But did you know that your ideal client is not the same as your dream client? A little crazy, I know, right? But your ideal client is someone who might be a good fit to work with you. They are within your specific niche and industry. They're someone who needs what you have to offer. The problems that they are experiencing are ones that you help solve. It's kind of the overall idea of who your ideal client is, right? So, for example, a lead gen expert is looking for female coaches within the health industry. So, she's probably going to be looking at targeting fitness trainers, nutrition specialists, possibly even mindset or even life coaches, because they are all within the health and wellness industry. And they all fall under her ideal client target market, right? This is the idea of who you would like to work with. Now, your dream client is the actual type of person that you want to work with. So, this is someone who respects your boundaries and values what you have to offer. You have similar energies and ways of thinking, and you're pumped up to work with them every single day because and help them grow their business because you know that working together, you guys are creating magic. So, you might be in conversation with somebody that could be a potential dream client, maybe in your DMs right now, or you're following someone that you think might be an amazing dream client of yours in the future. So, this is going to be someone whose personality really vibes well with yours, right? You get along like maybe you've been friends forever, or you can just relate on a lot. So, the conversation really flows and isn't ever dull. And this person really lights you the fuck up at the thought of working with them. And you know that if you were to start working together, you would create absolute magic. And it's vital to understand the difference between the two, especially when it comes to determining who needs your offer and who out of that pool of potential candidates is considered a dream client and actually worth pursuing that working relationship with. But it is also okay to have more than one ideal client because knowing your ideal client is more than a simple fill in the blank exercise, right? You also have to know how they feel because their emotions are ultimately what determines their buying process. Most of our purchases are going to be driven by emotional desires. So when you actually know your ideal client, it's going to help you understand their needs and know how to position yourself in a place where they view you as the go to in their industry, or simply as someone who they feel understands them and has enough knowledge to be able to help them with the problem that they are experiencing. So, for example, your ideal client is a mental wellness coach, right? That's awesome. But you need to dig a little bit deeper than that because your ideal client could actually be a recently single mom of two who works remotely while homeschooling and is trying to find ways to support her family on one income, right? So, the feelings that are coming up with that are feeling anxious, really overwhelmed, and looking for help on how to balance and navigate the new changes in her life while supporting her kids through a rough stage in their lives and now only being on one source of income. But plot twist, what if your services were to remain the same, but your ideal client changes? So, for this example, what if your ideal client is now a recent college graduate who just landed his dream job in New York as a stylist for a promising new line in New York Fashion Week? That's amazing. It's incredible. So they're probably feeling really ambitious, but battling a little bit of imposter syndrome because that job comes with a lot. That's no easy walk in the park, right? And they need some support managing anxiety that is going to come with starting a new and demanding job. Now, remember, your services are staying the same, but your ideal client is different in this case. And if you want your content to stop their scroll, how you speak to that college grad is going to be very different from how you would speak to that divorced mom of two, right? This is why you have to be very clear with who you are speaking to in your content. So, for example, if you were to say people looking to improve their overall mental well being between the ages of 25 and 50, whether that is your ideal client or not, that hook is not going to really reel anybody in. It's not going to catch anybody's attention because it sounds like a really boring newspaper ad, right? It doesn't speak to their specific pain points and desires, so it's not going to catch their attention and make them stop their scroll. So, When you are trying to understand your ideal client, there are going to be three main areas that you should focus on, and that is going to be pain points and fears, goals and desires, and then connection and values. So, the first one we're going to be talking about is pain points. And I know this gets a bad rap, but stick with me as we talk through it. Because in order to get a better understanding for what your ideal client is feeling, one area that's utilized a lot in the online space is pain points. But there are two types of pain points that we are going to be talking about, and that's going to be internal and external pain points. So the first one is internal pain points, which is the more emotional struggle side. These are going to be the feeling based emotions that are happening here. So, for example, what is your ideal client afraid of? Is it feeling frustrated and hopeless about getting their next client? Is it maybe feeling overwhelmed and they're not confident in their business because they aren't seeing any results and they've tried everything in the book, but nothing is working? Or are they afraid to go all in on their dream because what if it doesn't work out? What if they fail and it's a total flop and they don't know how to get back up from there? And they prove everybody right who said that they weren't able to do this in the beginning. And that is going to be a lot more of those internal pain points and emotional struggles that you can appeal to on the internal side. And the thing is you really want to get inside their head when it comes to internal pain points and highlight how they're feeling right now in their business. And then ideally, how you are going to help them feel when they go and invest in you or your services. And understanding your client's emotional struggles will help you to create better offers and sell those offers by speaking directly to them and what it is they actually desire. So, some questions that you can ask yourself are, where are they right now emotionally? Where am I going to get them emotionally? Is it showing up with more confidence and clarity inside of their business, for example? What you need to do is focus on feelings because evoking emotion is what brings you sales. So, for example, how does staying stuck and not being able to sign any clients make them feel? Probably really overwhelmed and wondering what they are doing wrong, if they are even cut out for this. And continuing to stay stuck is only going to reinforce that belief that maybe going back to their 9 to 5 is going to be easier because they've got no idea how to run an online business in the first place. But hey, that's where you come in, right? So, on the other side of the spectrum is external pain points. And these are going to be the more physical, tangible type of struggles that they are facing. So, the more material things. And think more actions, not feelings. So, they are struggling to do X, whether that's grow their following on social media, sign more clients, get more meaningful engagement from their audience, have their ideal client DM them about their services, what have you. These are all what they are struggling to get, the more actions they are wanting, the more actionable items inside of their business. Think of your offer in two ways. So, this is going to be the transformation and the features. So, the transformation is going to be the how you are going to get people to buy by using their feelings and emotions, and the features are what they will get. So, this is the more physical, tangible side of your offer, right? You want to mainly focus on the internal struggles and then the emotion that your ideal client is experiencing, and then speak to the actual transformation, aka the benefits that your ideal client will get when working with you. So, when you come up with an offer, you start with the two things, the who and the transformation, because we want to determine what their goals really are. Where do they ideally want to be in their life or in their business? How are you going to get them from point A, which is their struggle, to point B, their transformation? That is ultimately what they want to know. So, when you're thinking personal connection and values, remember that your ideal client is an actual human, not just a bunch of dollar signs, right? So, you want to be relatable and make genuine connections with people that you actually relate to, and then start meaningful conversations with the intent to actually build a relationship with this person, not just make a sale. Actually get to know them on a deeper level and find out who they are at their core. What is their purpose? What lights them up and drives them to actually keep going in their business, or even what started it? Because when your clients feel seen and understood, they are more likely to buy from you or at least keep you at the forefront of their mind when making those decisions. And the next step is going to be defining that transformation that your product or your service provides. So your ideal client doesn't just want to know that you get them, right? They want to know that what you sell them is going to give them the transformation, the results, or the feelings that they are so deeply desiring. So when you're identifying your ideal client's transformation, you want to look at how they are going to feel after they invest in your product or service, aka you identify the transformation. So if you're stuck, put yourself in your ideal client's shoes. How would you feel? What kind of transformation or solution would you want for X problem, right? Maybe your ideal client is a version of you from 2 or 3 years ago when you first started. Imagine what your ideal client is actually feeling and what it is they really want. And then think of that same person after they've invested in your service. What did they get? How did they feel? And why are they happy buying from you in your business? You are selling feelings and results of your business. You're not just selling the product or service because you are selling the desire. So when you speak to that, you completely remove the barriers to getting a sale or a new client. Because once you identify your ideal client's desired outcome, you're able to paint a much more vivid and enticing picture of how they can feel better or get their problems solved by investing in your services.